Hey, cosmic warriors, spiritual skeptics, or just a random confused human. Welcome to another dimension. It's time to sit down with me, your reluctant mystic Michelle, coming to you from the void between worlds to talk about some really interesting metaphysical stuff. Who am I? Just a human who's been thrown into this place called Earth, who has a lot of questions, born with a whole bunch of gifts, but not a lot of answers. So what this podcast is going to do is explore some paranormal mysteries, energetic phenomena, and a lot of FML moments that have you questioning, what the hell are we doing here? So if you're spiritual or you're just really confused, this is the right place for you. So join me if you like riding the waves of the quantum ocean and getting really down deep into the WTF of what's going on here. Because, as I always say, there legit is no way I signed up for this. So if you're ready for a wild ride, let's go. So yeah, first episode of 2025. It has been a year. I say this like we've finished it. This is the longest January, I think, on record. I mean, technically, I know, still has the same amount of days, same amount of hours and seconds. But oh my goodness, I cannot be the only one who every time I wake up, I'm like, we're still in January? We're still in January? So yeah, I think this is a great way to come in with the first episode of 2025. Because we got some stuff going on, right? We got some stuff that might have you questioning your whole existence right now. Like, no joke, this is real talk. And that's the purpose of this episode, kind of talking about how to stay grounded, how to stay focused, how to stay centered when everything is going everywhere in every way but what you expected. So when we come into that space, it could throw you for a loop, right? You're juggling work, family, friends, trying to squeeze in time for yourself, and then throw in just the regular everyday chaos of living on this planet. So when you start spiraling, right, things get out of focus. You start to have anxious nights, anxious days. Things start to run together. It's really important that we use those moments to focus and pull ourselves back, finding our center and remembering that we're not just here to survive, we're here to thrive. Even when the space around us feels very unfamiliar, almost unrecognizable. Now, I do have an episode sometime back about looking for your anchors or finding the eye of the storm and the hurricane. And these are all similar aspects, but this episode kind of giving you a little bit more actionable things to do, because let's be real. It's more about finding stuff that you can use and not just about talk. We definitely want to create a safe space for people to express where concerns might be, but at the same time, want to give you something that you can, like, when crap hits the fan, you can say, okay, let me do my countdown. So looking at this, we're talking about 3 steps to help you stay rooted and grounded when everything feels a bit off. Like, let's be real. I didn't wake up January 1st this year and, this was not on my bingo card. So many things have occurred that was not on my bingo card. So when we are finding ourselves kind of out of touch, out of place, out of space, and not knowing what to do, one thing about anxiety, which I know a lot about, is anxiety is the worrying, stressing fear about something that hasn't happened yet. That's what anxiety is. You're planning on something, you're thinking about something, you're worrying about something that literally has not happened yet. So one of the first things to do when you start to feel this, right? If you're watching the news or you're hearing colleagues talking, or you're not sure about your job, or you don't know if you're going to be able to afford health care and everything else that's going on, is to anchor yourself in the present. The present moment is where life happens. And I could throw some spiritual jargon in, like, time is just an illusion. There's no such thing as future or the past. I could do that, but that's not helpful. What I can't do is talk about what you can see, feel, touch, and hear. Grounding yourself in the present when you start to feel overwhelmed, or also practicing the pause. And I've spoke about this multiple times. Take a breath and then ask yourself, what is real right now? Are you safe right now? What color is the sky right now? Are you hungry? Are you thirsty right now? Like that's your mantra. Right now. What's going on right now? Not yesterday, not tomorrow. You're focusing on what it is right now. Not what bill's coming in the mailbox tomorrow. Not what's due in the next month. What's going on right now? Now, not to say those things aren't important, but when you're trying to anchor yourself in the present, the focus is what is important right now. So that's one thing. Another technique you want to think about is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which sounds like a countdown, grounding method. So it's easy to remember because that's what it is. It is a countdown, but there's certain things you're looking for. You want to find 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, or 1 thing you can taste. But here's the deal, like, don't get hung up on it. If you start to need this, it's like, what? 5 things I can see, hear, what? All you're doing is grounding yourself again to what did we just talk about? The right now. So what am I looking at right now? It doesn't have to be a number. You don't even have to have a number attached to it. What can you see right now? What can you touch right now? Again, you are setting yourself in the present, because watching the news, which I also suggest you might want to take a little detox from the news, anything where what you're putting into you is increasing the feeling of being uncertain. So people talk about detoxing, and it's stuff that you put in your body while you eat, what's going in through drink and eating. But there's also something about detoxing what goes in mentally. So taking a break from the things that are bringing you stress, taking the break from the things that are bringing uncertainty, taking breaks away from things that are increasing your feeling of not feeling grounded. Now, I know some people's job and work and things in that space force you to deal with that every day. So some things you're not going to be able to take detoxes from. So another technique, other than anchoring yourself in the present, other than detoxing from these things, are setting micro goals. Or if we don't want to use the word goals, we can say focuses, right? These are small, manageable action steps that remind you that progress is possible. It's happening even when things around you feel chaotic. So for me, I know in the past few weeks, my micro focus was just getting through the day, right? I'm not trying to build mountains. I'm not trying to take over the world, save the planet. All I want to do is get through the day and be able to rest. That's it. I want to get through these 8 hours, 9 hours, sometimes 10 hours, sometimes of work. If I've done that, I've been successful. So it could also look like I'm going to focus on doing 10 minutes of journaling. If I've done that, I've had progress. I'm going to drink water before tackling my emails. If I've done that, I've created progress. So micro courses of actions or goals can help you breadcrumb, like when, we don't like to use the word breadcrumbs, but in this instance we do, because it can help you leave breadcrumbs for yourself to show progress, keep you grounded, and keep you on your path. So instead of looking at the major things of, I have to do this, I have to go this place, I have to travel this place, I have to do this, that, and the other, that seems so daunting. We can just say, I'm going to cook dinner tonight and not go out to eat. And you're able to do that, small, tiny steps to get you to where you're going. So it's not changing course, it's just changing the momentum, right? It's changing how you're getting there. I'm taking the train instead of the plane. I'm riding my bike instead of walking, but you're still moving forward, right? So sometimes when you're able to look and settle into that space of progress, it helps with that chaos. And now I also want you, because this is a spiritual podcast, is talk about what are your spiritual non-negotiables when you start to feel unsteady. What are your daily practices that pour back into you? Because you have to be your own anchor. While you can look for safe people, safe spaces, at the end of the day, it's your decision making that's going to determine what path you stay on or what track you decide to take. So it's important that you understand you are your own anchor. So starting the day with gratitude. I tell people I have a slow start of my day. I start slow, or soft start. And what that means is, like, even my alarm is not aggressive. Like, for those of you who have that Apple alarm that, oh my gosh, I can't. Like, when I hear that Apple alarm, I literally go into an anxiety attack. I don't want to start my day like that. I don't want to start my day in chaos. And for me, that is chaos. So I have a very gentle waking up alarm on my phone because that works for me. But I have a slow, soft start in my mornings. I wake up early so I can do that. And that looks like what? That looks like opening my house. I'm blessed enough to be able to work from home. So I don't have to do a traffic commute. So I'm able to open up my windows for my plants. I water my plants. I dust them off if there's dust. I spritz them. So I'm nurturing the plants. I nurture myself by taking vitamins, my tea or whatever else I want to have that morning. I light an incense. And then I go into my gratitude practices, focusing on the fact that I do work from home. I'm thankful for that. Focusing on the fact that I can set up my meetings to be after 10 in the morning. So if I have a meeting that's before 10 in the morning, it's an unplanned or emergency type meeting because my team knows not to have me scheduled for meetings before 10 in the morning. And I'm thankful that I'm able to do that. I also make sure I'm wearing comfortable clothes. That's a thing for me. I like comfort. So I have comfy slippers and comfy PJ bottoms and things of that nature. I have music that I listen to. I'm very tuned into music because music is very therapeutic for me. So those are my ways that I start slow, start soft, a soft morning. And that's important to me. That's a non-negotiable. Even when I have to travel for work, I still wake up early enough where I might not be able to do the things I do when I'm in my house, but I still do gratitude. I still do my prayer, my meditation, whatever nurturing thing I need to do for my body. And I do that. It's my non-negotiable. So you have to find out what yours are, because what that does is set that routine for you. And when you know what to expect, that helps with feeling safe. And at the end of the day, that is what we need, is safety. Because it's when we don't feel safe is when we feel anxious, when we get scared, where we feel unsettled. So ask yourself, while we're going through all these uncertainties, whatever part of the conversation you're on, what keeps you grounded? Is it a morning prayer? Is it a 5-minute meditation? Do you wake up hard? Like I say, I have a soft wake up. I have a soft launch in the morning. You might be somebody who blasts music and starts your day with that chaotic Apple alarm dancing and just going all in. These are the things you want to focus on. These are your lifelines. You treat them like sacred rituals because honestly, that's what they are. So here's the thing. Staying grounded doesn't mean you're immune to the hard times. It doesn't mean you're immune to the hard days. We're human. We're not robots. Even though sometimes I feel it might be easier, but that's another conversation. We're allowed to be scared. We're allowed to be unsettled. We're allowed to disagree. But what we want to know is you have a route, a path to come back over and over again to where your center is. So that's my question for you. Where is your center? Because if you don't have a center, if you're not grounded and to have a center, no matter where the wind blows, you don't have control of where you end up. Right? So find your center. Put energy into those spiritual practices. Because again, those are your anchors. So in closing, again, I feel like the next time I do an episode, it's still going to be January. This is crazy. Like, this is the longest January ever. But definitely take into account what I said. Find your center. Be your anchor. Staying in the present is key. Setting those micro goals or micro focuses keeps that momentum for you, and maintain your spiritual practices, whatever those might be. You're stronger than you think, and we're over here cheering you on. So is the God Squad. God Squad meaning God, your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, Even when it doesn't feel like you're being seen, you are. So, with all that being said, I want to thank you for coming to the first episode of 2025. And even though sometimes this feels like it's the series finale, I guarantee you there's still more to come. We just have to stay focused, stay grounded, stay positive. And if this episode was helpful for you in any way, please share it with someone who could use a reminder on the importance of staying grounded, of the importance of looking for the sun in the chaos, or the stars, depending on if you're a night person. So until next time, take a deep breath, find your center, and remember the chaos, it's not going to last. It's temporary, but your light will. So always take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.